It is indeed just less than 4 weeks before we meet at this very important conference of parties under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And that meeting, as we all know by now, will be sitting in Paris. 4 weeks is a very short space of time. A day is not, no longer, doesn't feel like 24 hours when you're looking at 4 weeks, or with still a lot of work that is there that needs to be done. Now in Paris, the international community will come up with universal, legally binding agreement that will enable all of us as the world and citizens of this world to combat climate change very effectively and also boost the transition towards resilient, low-carbon societies and economies. That's what we are looking forward to in Paris, and we've all been doing preparatory work to this effect. Now, COP21, we know, will be one of the largest climate conferences ever to be organized. I say to people that it will probably be maybe second after Devon. As a South African, let me say so. Maybe if I leave this cap of being South African, might be just the largest of the conferences that is ever organized under the climate change or this convention. And I'm very, very grateful, and I think you all are, to be afforded this opportunity, therefore, to be here today to prepare together and indeed, most importantly, strategize together. I have been listening, just a few thoughts that I had since I arrived here. They really do indicate and demonstrate that we are doing a lot of thinking and indeed strategizing, planning together. Now this meeting here today, ladies and gentlemen, is yet another milestone along the climate change roadmap of both mitigation and adaptation. You know very well that we've held several meetings in the past. We've been to provincial roadshows and so forth as we're talking about our INDCs, but this one is also particularly important. It is also a chance for all of us to roll up our collective sleeves to ensure a successful conclusion of a global mandate as agreed to in COP17 4 years ago, right here in South Africa. What am I saying? I'm saying those of us who are South Africans and indeed Africans do actually see this COP21 as a moment of concluding that which was actually shaped here in South Africa at COP17. Not that other COPs are not important, but we know that the three major areas that are being discussed and have been dealt with throughout the past 4 years actually were decided upon to be followed through here in Cape Town, in South Africa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as South Africa, we know that our mandate for COP21 is to ensure that parties agree on a protocol or a legal instrument or an agreed outcome with legal force under the convention by no later than this conference of parties in Paris. Not in 2016, it has to be by this conference in Paris. And that legal agreement or that instrument will actually come into effect from the year 2020. And I want to especially take this opportunity to thank both our colleagues who were here, who delivered speeches this morning, Mayor Ramokopa, Executive Mayor Ramokopa, and the DM. And in addition, I would also like to thank Mayor Christian Kalev for the extensive support that we have received from the German government as well as from the GIZ, sometimes also through GIZ as the government, the German government. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change, we all know, and we've been saying this again and again and again, is actually the greatest challenge of our time. Now, the fifth assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has a number of simple messages that which we must take heed of and never ever forget. And these key messages, amongst others, by the way, say, firstly, the greenhouse gas emissions rose more rapidly from the year 2000 to 2010 than in the previous 3 decades, growing by roughly 1.0 gigaton per year. Simple message, but very powerful, and meaning something that's really very scary if we are to analyze it. Means there's faster movement of the growth of these greenhouse gases. The more we disrupt our climate, the more we risk severe, pervasive, and irreversible impacts. And that said, ladies and gentlemen, we do indeed have the means to limit climate change. It is in our power, and also to build prosperous, more prosperous, sustainable future for our country, South Africa in particular, but also for the whole world and all who live in these countries and throughout the globe. We know we do shoulder a lot of immense responsibility to deal with climate change and its impacts. Now, the United Nations Environmental Programme, UNEP, the Emissions Gap Report, ladies and gentlemen, tells us that global emissions in 2030 will most likely be 14 gigatons above the level that would be consistent with the 2 degrees Celsius.